everybody, Garrett back here, and there's been some breaking news or leaks perhaps about what ScreamFactory's releases are going to be for October. Now again, some of these have been rumored for quite a while, but not officially announced by ScreamFactory or Shout Factory yet. So again, just take this with a grain of salt. I'm just announcing it now in case you didn't hear the news, and you can start game planning things now, because when it comes to October, a lot of these companies really put out their big heavy hitters, because we know as horror fans, that's the time everybody likes to grab some new stuff. Now, of course, ScreamFactory's going back to the well. They're taking their old titles and upgrade them to 4K, which again, you know I'm not a huge fan of that. Obviously, when it comes to specific titles, I'll make that decision on, hey, maybe it's worth upgrading, maybe it's not. So the first one that we're going to talk about, which is just an upgrade, and it's one that I absolutely love, and that is The Blob. Now, The Blob remake from 1988, it's a great movie. Now, this I feel like I didn't get that long ago. Again, time for me just kind of goes very quick, so this could have came out many, many years ago, but again, this doesn't feel like one I've had forever, but they're already upgrading it in 4K. Now, as you can see, I love this commissioned artwork. I do love the original artwork for The Blob. I mean, it's not the best, but it's okay. So this 4K is going to have the original poster art, I guess, as the cover. That's what's being shown now. As far as any features, I'm sure it's probably not much different. Maybe just an upgraded transfer, perhaps. Maybe some of the audio has changed, but this is a great addition here, and it's a real hard sell for me to trade this one out. So again, as much as I love the movie, I really just got to kind of see a little bit more about what we're getting with that release, and as far as how the transfer is going to look. As far as the bright neons with the pinks and stuff, I'm sure that might actually look pretty cool. But again, I'm not the biggest fan of the upgrades just because I have everything that they've put out so far when it comes to these collector's editions. So for me, it's just another upgrade or double dip. But in a positive note, this comes out in October. Keep your eye on the channel The Radpack, my podcast with Mel and Justin. We're actually going to do a Blob-related show in October, so it kind of could match up with the release of this if it comes through. Now, the next upgrade is another 1988 horror movie, and that is Pumpkinhead. Has just been announced or leaked to be coming out in 4K from ScreamFactory this October. Now, again, I will say this Pumpkinhead is like one of the early ScreamFactories, so this has been out for a long, long time. This might have been year 1 or 2, because you can tell because it still has that blue banner on the top, and that was one of the first couple of years. That's how you know that they were kind of an earlier edition. Now, Pumpkinhead, I love the movie. Again, I've talked about this before with the 4K. For me, I find that the 4Ks sometimes come off very dark. And I don't know if it has to do with my TV. Again, I've changed my settings. It's an OLED. But it does come off very dark. And Pumpkinhead, as much as there's some cool scenes in the day, there's also a lot of dark scenes in that. So, again, I'm on the fence about that one. I would probably dip more on The Blob, personally, if that was me. If you don't have Pumpkinhead already, that is going to be the way to go, no question. Because I'm sure this is probably on a print at this point. But, again, I'm going to have to see what it offers, because I do love the movie. But as far as do I need a 4K upgrade of it, I'm not quite sure yet. So that's the next one we should be looking for in October. Now, this last one, I guess, is their big heavy hitter, because it does involve almost like a collection. It does involve some newer titles, and that is one we heard was coming for a while. That is going to be Night of the Demons. Is going to be upgraded to 4K. As far as this one, again, like I said with Pumpkinhead, this is a very early release. This is probably year 1 for ScreamFactory, maybe year 2, but this has been out for a long time. Now, I absolutely love this movie. So, again, would I have upgraded it if we didn't get what we're going to get? I don't know, and I'll talk about that in a second, but again, this is Night of the Demons. This was the original Blu-ray that they put out, this collector's edition one. They're going to upgrade this in 4K, I'm hearing. As far as any new features, I'm not quite sure, but what makes this a little bit intriguing, and it all depends on how ScreamFactory does this, and I've talked about this on other streams before, is that they also announced Night of the Demons 2 and Night of the Demons 3 on Blu-ray collector's edition. So you have a 4K of Night of the Demons, a Blu-ray collectors of 2, and a Blu-ray collectors of 3. Now, why couldn't they have done them all in 4K at this point? I don't know. I think they probably should have, personally, but again, I don't know the ins and outs of that. But what I will say is, being a collector, and like I said, I do have this, and I probably wouldn't have upgraded this if these weren't coming as well. So again, you know how I am. I'm very much about aesthetics, and it's really tricky because you're getting the 4K and you're getting all the original artwork, which is interesting because now you got 2 Blu-rays collector's edition with the original artwork, which is not usually what we get. We got this. So if you wanted to stick to only Blu-ray, then you would have kept this one. But again, this has the commissioned art, so it doesn't really match. It's a big cluster, but again, minor, right? So having all of these together in the same company, in the same line per se, is pretty big. And that's why I'm gonna probably grab all 3, because as you can see, I haven't had this since DVD, which I don't think ever got an upgrade. Night of Demons 2, this was put out by Olive, who recently just kind of went under. So that makes me think, wow, so not every title just went right to Kino. Maybe there's more to come here if ScreamFactory was able to get Night of the Demons 2, which then begs the question, could they have had access to Monster Squad? Could they have had access to Cujo? Like, I don't know, and I don't know why they wouldn't have grabbed big titles like that. So again, I don't know that stuff, but it is cool to get all these 3 together. My big thing though is I would love if there was a bundle option where if you bought all 3, you paid maybe a little extra and you got a box to house all 3 inside. So you get them with slipcovers and you get them with a box that goes around. That's what I would do. I almost am positive ScreamFactory is not going to do that, but I'm sure there will be people online somewhere that you can kind of buy a custom, which I will definitely do if that becomes the case, because like I said, I like to have things all together like that, right? So if I was ScreamFactory, I'd give that option. Even if they want to do multiple slips and all this other stuff to make them all match, cool, but give us a box, because again, these haven't been housed together, I think, since DVD days. I think there was like a box from Canada or something that did that. But that would be really, really cool. So again, here's the deal. We've got Night of the Demons 1, 2, and 3 supposedly being upgraded here. You've also got Pumpkinhead, and you've also got the Blob getting upgraded to 4K. This has not been confirmed from ScreamFactory. If this is their October line right now, is it underwhelming? A little bit underwhelming for an October release, because that's usually their big announcement. And if Night of the Demons is their huge announcement, cool, I like it, but I'm sure people probably want a little bit more. So again, nothing's been confirmed, it's only a leak. But let me know down below, is there any of these that you'll be picking up? Have you had these on other formats before? Because if you missed out on all these Blu-rays from ScreamFactory, then obviously 4K is probably the way and the cheapest way to go. Let's hope we get those announcements soon so they can become official. This is just rumor, this is just leak, but guys, I just want to give you the news first so you can kind of game plan what you're thinking for October. All right, gang, this is Garrett at Born to Be Rad, and like always, stay rad.